Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Minecraft Yaps. Today we're gonna be talking about problem kids in schools, which is such an interesting topic. So, we're gonna start off. There's this one kid that went to my school, right? And we're gonna call him George. So, George was always, and I mean always getting in trouble. He was jumping up on desks, causing chaos, running around, being an issue. So, George is an interesting kid. George was obsessed with Spider-Man, not like in like an autistic way, just like a normal way, just like he really liked Spider-Man, and did a bunch of backflips, 24/7. And, like, was always getting himself into trouble. But this man, I'm not kidding. So you guys remember the Washington, D.C. video? He was the guy that called 911 while we were on the bus. What others? Yeah, while we were in Washington, D.C., he kept causing issues. His room was loud every night. He would cause issues when walking around. He was constantly causing issues. One time I was sitting in class, right? It was a math class. The teacher gets up to leave. I'm sorry, it wasn't a math class. I'm not stupid enough to be in a math class with this guy. It was I don't know. It was a dumb required class for 8th grade. But this guy, the teacher gets up to leave, and she's gone for 5 seconds. She walks in. He's on a desk, about to do a backflip off of it. Like, bro, what? But this guy was constantly causing issues. Some mornings he would walk in and he'd be like, Jack, guess what? Jack would be like, what? And George would tell him, and he'd show him his TikTok. And later I found his TikTok with a friend, and we were looking at it, and bro had videos of him breaking into our school at night, and the janitor chasing him. You wanna know how he played that off to our principal when she saw it? He said it was AI. She believed him. Those videos were not AI. Bro just snuck into our school. He had videos of him breaking into random abandoned buildings. He was causing issues, man. This kid. Now, I don't know what was going on at home, so I'm not going to judge him himself. But, like, the things he did. Oh, my gosh. Now, I do have mad respect for this guy. Because even though causing all the trouble he did, I'm be honest, he only caused it for himself. He never caused issues for anyone else. It was always just like issues for himself, causing issues, getting himself in trouble, trying to make other people laugh. He never got anyone else in trouble. He never did drugs. He never was like touching girls. He was never doing anything like that. So he had my respect for doing a few things right. He never caused issues or anything else, which is something I can respect, that he had the decency just to do what he wanted to do for himself. So he gained a little bit of my respect there. I can tolerate a guy like that. But yeah, he was constantly causing issues. Now, that's like a really bad problem kid. Let's get into like some slightly worse problem kids. These are like your basketball your basketball kids that are causing trouble, making racial slur jokes, and causing issues everywhere they go. So these kids are just like a collective brain at my school. And we're a small school. This shouldn't be happening. Like, what the flip? But these kids are just constantly causing issues. They'll talk all through class, and like this, it's annoying AF. Okay, but now we got a funner one. There's this one kid. We're gonna call him. Let's call him Tony. So, Tony would always never be doing anything wrong. Tony physically could not do anything wrong. Tony would go. Someone would say, Tony, stop. He'd go, me? Tony could never, ever do anything wrong. How dare you think Tony could do something wrong? But he like would never be in trouble. I mean, he would get in trouble, but he would never think he deserved to be in trouble. He would say it's not his fault. It was someone else's fault near him. Okay, bro, stop hanging out with those people for real though. And like it was always never his fault. And I actually got so fed up of this, of it never being his fault whenever he got in trouble with a group of people. And I was like, dude, it gets to a point. It gets to a point where I don't care if it's not your fault, that you've been hanging out with the people whose fault it is so much that it's like you're in constant association with them. That's really annoying. But like he would always be causing issues, and then he'd either say it wasn't him or he'd come up with some dumb excuse. And this would always cause issues for like everyone. Okay, this video is really just me bad mouthing a bunch of people, so we're gonna cut a little short. This is make sure to go check out my other videos and to like and subscribe.